online, on the go. Fox Toledo News at 6:30 starts right now. Now, live, this is Fox Toledo Breaking News.
One person is dead after a fatal roof collapse in a Fremont factory. Good evening, I'm Laura Emerson. Here is the news for Wednesday, July 17th. It happened at the Fremont Company. That is at 802 North Front Street in Fremont. Fox Toledo, Sean Hegarty and Heather Miller are both live at the scene to bring us the latest.
Yeah, Laura, just want to let you know that so far authorities have not released the identity of the person who was killed out here. It happened behind me, again, at the Fremont Company. And what we can tell you is that there were people out here doing roof work, and they were doing that roof work over the cooker areas where the roof collapsed. And when the roof collapsed in there is when people were trapped, and like you were saying, the one person was killed. And we're telling you about the cooker area because if you're not familiar with the plant, they make things like sauerkraut, so that would be why there were things like the cooker area. Now, again, the one person was killed, and we told you that a couple more people were injured. One person very early on was taken to a Toledo hospital. One person very early on was taken to a Fremont hospital. But there was one rescue in here that was very tricky. Fox Toledo's Heather Miller has been monitoring this all day. Tell us a little bit about the person who was trapped for quite a while in here.
Yes, he was. The gentleman's name is Todd Michael. He is 44 years old, and right now he is actually in Toledo. He was life-flighted there, taken by an air ambulance to UTMC. Now, he was actually trapped under the roof. His legs were pinned, and they even brought an orthopedic surgeon down here to Fremont. They brought the orthopedic surgeon on standby just in case they had to amputate his legs in order to free him. However, that did not happen. It took several hours, but rescue crews were able to go in to get Mr. Michael. They were actually able to speak with him, and he was coherent enough that he was able to tell rescue workers exactly how he was pinned. He was able to describe his surroundings. So he was actually able to help rescue himself by giving them the information they needed to actually get that roof off of his legs. And from the way I understand it, part of the roof collapsed, pinning him. It was sitting on his legs. However, that was unstable. So they had to actually go in, they had to bring in some wood, and they had to actually secure that, make sure everything was stable in order to get him in and pull him out. They were able to do that. And just about an hour or so ago, they actually were able to bring him out. They did load him on to an air ambulance. They did take him by helicopter to Toledo, where he is currently being treated. We're not really sure the extent of his injuries, but they did not need to amputate his legs. He is currently being treated. And you know, Sean, this is not over yet. We are talking about this rescue. That is very good news. But as you mentioned, there is one man who was killed in this accident. And last I heard, he is still in there. They have to actually make sure everything is safe. They obviously don't want to send any crews in there to recover that body until everything is safe. And as you mentioned, we also do not know his identity at this time.
Yeah, and we'll continue to monitor that. It's been a very dangerous situation for people out here throughout the day. We have with us now Fremont Police Chief Tim Wiersma, and you're somebody who's been out here for quite a while. How tricky of a rescue was this today, especially with the walls essentially collapsing around some people?
It was not really the wall, it was the roof, and I was wrong when I talked about it before. Probably about more than half of the roof had come down, and so the man was actually on his belly. The guy who they just took air ambulance was on his belly for all of that time and was actually trapped by his legs, but it was the roof that had been trapping him. So they were able to shore up the roof so it wouldn't collapse even more, and then they were able to extradite him fairly carefully. Now it's the point of some more roof might come down, and so they don't want to hurt a firefighter or rescue person, and the person did die. And we are releasing the name at this point. It's Nate Kern. He's 35 years old. Is the person who died in this tragedy. What they're going to do, they're talking about knocking a whole wall down so it doesn't fall on them, and then which is away from where he is, and then go in and be able to pick up pieces of the ceiling off of him at that point.
So how fortunate was it for you that you could talk to the man who was trapped inside there to get a better idea not only where he was, but what kind of condition he was in?
It's very positive for the rescuers to have somebody that's alive and talking, because it gives them hope and makes them work harder, I believe. Obviously, it was a very good outcome for him, and a huge tragedy. I believe they might be related, and so really huge tragedy. Something kind of positive came out of it, that he is alive.
I guess a little bit of positive, of course, has turned into a fatal situation, so a lot of people will be feeling that pain. And investigation-wise, I'm assuring OSHA is either here on the way?
OSHA is already here. They've been here for maybe 2 hours. They're waiting for the rescue to be taken care of. We've taken pictures of the scene inside, so that they know what it looked like before and after. And the B&W people were here to shore up the ceiling with new columns, and apparently something went horribly wrong.
And now, will you be doing a local investigation, or will that strictly be an OSHA investigation?
OSHA investigation.
So, it's certainly a tragedy out here, but a little bit of positive, Chief. We appreciate your time.
A tiny bit of positive for this huge tragedy. I feel so sorry for the family.
And it's such a close-knit community. A big industry like this, an industry that's been here for so long, it's got to hit really hard.
It's a huge loss for the city and the family. We are a small town.
Chief, we appreciate your time very much there. And so now, again, as the Chief was just telling you, we have the identity of the person who passed away here. And again, a tragedy. One person has been killed. 3 people have been injured in this accident here at the Fremont Company in Fremont. As we get more information, we'll continue to bring that to you and bring updates throughout the show. Reporting live in Fremont, Sean Hagerty, Fox Toledo News.